Hello, everyone, and welcome to AMC Technology's DaVinci Deep Dive webinar series, and thank you for joining today. This is our fourth in the series session, and we'll focus on what's new for ServiceNow and contact centers, an AMC technology solution for integrating customer interactions. My name is Lorelea Moore, and I lead our partner engagement activities here at AMC, and we're very excited to be partnering with the ServiceNow team to enable the ideal contact center. Today's presenters are Jeff Hoffman, who leads the outbound product management for customer service at ServiceNow, and Paul Martin, our very own customer service success engineer. Welcome, Jeff and Paul.
All right, thank you, Lorelea.
Thanks, Lorelea.
During today's session, Jeff is going to kick things off with a look at what's new with ServiceNow customer service management and provide us a demo. We will then follow with Paul taking us deeper into our AMC technology solutions, including Twilio Flex, and our integration with the latest release of ServiceNow, Madrid. During the session, please feel free to post your questions in the chat window, so at the end we can be sure to cover them during our Q&A. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Jeff, who's going to lead us into the ServiceNow session.
Thank you, Lorelea. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So good morning, good afternoon, everybody. As Lorelea mentioned, my name is Jeff Hoffman. I'm an outbound product manager here with ServiceNow. It's so great to be here today and have the opportunity to share details about our ServiceNow Customer Workflow Cloud. The capabilities and the offering that I'm going to introduce you to today are going to show exactly how only customer service management supports a complete service process from end to end. This includes that effortless level of engagement. And this is traditionally where your CRM vendors will play, right, in terms of being able to offer omni-channel solutions, one and done type interactions where you're logging a ticket, a case, or request. Where we start to differentiate from the rest of the market is where we're able to connect within the organization. So whether that be a tier 1 contact center agent, a field service technician, or somebody in the back office or in IT services, being able to create a work order, a problem, a change, and collaborate via workflow and process orchestration to coordinate across all those different operational silos, breaking down those silos all on behalf of getting to root cause and quickly resolving issues on behalf of the customer. A second point of differentiation that we offer is around proactive service. So in today's technology-enabled world, we have tech-enabled products and services that are out there that are constantly generating alerts or log files or information that we can correlate and bring back to resolve issues on behalf of a customer before they even have to raise a case. And so this whole connected, effortless, proactive theme behind customer service management is truly how we differentiate within the marketplace. Now, all of this is powered by our best-in-class platform. Right? So everything that we do to delight customers with proactive service from issue to resolution is really engineered by the ServiceNow platform. So everything from on this left-hand side, being able to resolve issues from end to end, and thinking about the agent experience, what we do with Agent Workspace, or our machine learning processes that power agent intelligence, being able to integrate channels and mobile experiences and cross silo case management workflow processes. Those are all things that we're going to highlight through the demo today. Now, you'll also be able to research and find information about how we're able to fix problems proactively. So thinking about how service management powers that root cause issue resolution process. How do you take one case that we're seeing many times correlate back to a problem or a known issue and route that piece of work to the right department or team to resolve it, not just for the one case or interaction that you're working on, but for all customers that have that product or service offering. We're also integrating with our operations management, or what we've termed as ITOM in the past. This operations management integration allows us to do proactive alert monitoring, correlate that back to the assets or products that a customer has, and then be able to use the Now platform performance analytics to look at trends and financial analysis, finding those high-cost products or service offerings, and think about how do we improve over time. So not just looking at the operational metrics of what's sitting there right in front of us at the current point in time, but how are we trending over time, and how do cost and cost allocations affect how we plan for the future? And then in terms of self-service, every organization has some sort of shift left initiative, right, in terms of being able to drive more self-service, being able to drive more traffic to a portal or mobile-enabled experience. So we fully enable customer service management with things like targeted communications or broadcast messages. If there's a known issue or a product outage or a new upgrade coming, we can make sure we build a campaign to get that information out in front of the customers. There's things like knowledge management and communities that allow us to be able to allow customers to self-serve and collaborate with their peers. And then everything that we do from within that service portal is going to be personalized based upon the context of that customer. So who they are, what they own, what's their role within the organization. And all of this will also be enabled with the virtual agent or bot technology that we're investing in natural language understanding, natural language processing to make it more human-like and understanding the issues that are right in front of the customer. So I'm quickly going to go through some of these capabilities through some subsequent slides here, and then we're going to hop into a demo in a short while. So resolving complex issues end-to-end means that we need to be able to collaborate across teams, break down those silos, be able to know the known impact of the issues that are facing customers and how those all correlate together and who's working on what piece of work. This is why you need an end-to-end customer service management system that brings together CRM, service management, and operations management all in a single platform. With this, the customer service team can break down silos and automate processes across departments to diagnose and resolve issues faster. So with ServiceNow, your customer service team can assign tasks to other departments such as field service, operations, or finance for that full end-to-end resolution. Customer service not only is able to hold other teams accountable, but also maintain visibility into the status of a customer request. Now, in terms of eliminating swivel chair operations and making sure that your agents can recommend solutions automatically, we're completely reimagining the agent experience. Improving agent productivity requires eliminating any of the swivel chair type activities and providing useful recommendations in terms of knowledge or previous cases or solutions that have resolved other customer service issues. With the agent workspace, agents can resolve issues faster with complete visibility in an intuitive workspace. So being able to multitask across different task items, being able to pull up multiple portions of a customer's record to get that full 360-degree view. And with contextual knowledge and community content, agents have time, can save time with recommending knowledge and articles and community content that are relevant to the case that has been raised by the customer. Now, the next group of slides is around that proactive piece, having that intelligence to fix problems before customers know they have them. So here you can see how we've been able to tie service management and operations management into your customer service management organization and monitor the health of a customer's products and services. You want to be able to proactively identify potential issues. So here you see our event management dashboard, where if we have hosted technology services that we're monitoring on behalf of a customer, we can see as soon as those alerts come in and see the impact and maintain real-time visibility into those products, services, and SLAs that we need to adhere to. By fixing issues instead of just reporting them, companies are reducing issue resolution times by as much as 2/3 or 67%. Now, having the intelligence and the ability to analyze trends over time is also beneficial for your customer service organizations in today's landscape. So identifying service trends and taking action is more important than ever. So you can help reduce future case volume by analyzing current and past performance to identify opportunities for automation and self-service by using performance analytics. You can drive continuous improvement of products and services by monitoring those key performance indicators, your service cost, usage, all using performance analytics and financial management within the ServiceNow platform. All of this is going to help you minimize the impact of critical issues by notifying customers who are most likely to be affected before they know there is a problem. And you can do that by using targeted communications and major issue management, but really driven by the analytics behind the scenes that we're providing through performance analytics. Lastly here, our last couple slides are around those shift left type initiatives where we want to drive more self-service. We want to put power in the hands of the customer. So to be able to drive action to instantly take care of common requests without agent assistance. So by delivering a world-class customer experience, you need to be able to drive actions to instantly take care of common requests. The way you do that is by leveraging a ServiceNow capability known as the Service Catalog. Using the Service Catalog, you can simplify and improve the speed of those requests as they process. Not only enable customers to just reach out and make a request, but also connect them with back-end workflows to manage the request to completion. All of this hosted using the CSM service portal. Now the content, the request types that you push to that Service Catalog can be personalized by enabling customers to make changes to their account, products, services, case history, and maintain any of that visibility into status and receive personalized notifications using the customer service portal. Customer experience, you can drive up to a 50% reduction in calls and emails by using the self-service portal. Now, the other key piece to self-service is making sure you have quality knowledge, content, and collaboration options at the fingertips of your customers. With ServiceNow comes a world-class knowledge platform that allows us to deliver answers anytime customers need them, fully integrated with the customer service portal, chatbots, the knowledge management platform, and communities. This really helps customers get the best answers and information quickly through that community, and then any contextual recommendations when they go to raise an issue or chat with a virtual agent. By enabling customers to engage, to ask questions, and get answers, they can file cases, perform diagnostics, or make any other sort of request that needs to be routed to a live agent as well. Customers have had up to 65% of cases being opened through the customer portal instead of by phone and email. So moving to lower cost channel mechanisms to drive efficiency in their contact centers. Next, we're going to quickly walk through a demonstration of ServiceNow customer service management. But first, I want to introduce you to the cast members that we're going to be walking through today. As I'm going through the demo, you'll see me wear a couple different hats, and these are some names you might want to be familiar with. So first off is Julie Lewis. She's a customer at Boxio. She's been a customer, a member for 5 years. She's a full-time executive managing a team, and she's going to be working with John Jason. John's our Tier 1 agent at Acme Corporation. So Acme Corporation is going to be the manufacturer or provider of the service or hardware that we're going to be talking about today. And John's manager is Lynn. So Lynn's going to want that end-to-end visibility. She's going to have key initiatives in terms of reducing cost or improving customer satisfaction by up to 15%. So the flow that we're going to walk through in the demo is going to be starting with Julie. Have Julie visit that portal, and she's going to search a knowledge base, chat with a virtual agent, and then reach out to an agent, and that agent's going to be John. So John's going to have role-based access to information, simple intuitive navigation through the agent workspace. And once we close that case, we'll take a look through the lens of Lynn Reed, the supervisor, and how those dashboards help her make more informed decisions in terms of planning her team and performance. So let's start with Julie, our customer. I'm going to bring up our customer service portal here, and you can see I'm logged in as Julie Lewis here from within the service portal. The portal's branded as Acme Corporation. As I just said, Acme is the provider of the products or services that Julie's company, Boxio, has purchased. So you can see here we have a very intuitive and personalized landing page here for Julie. So we can see she's greeted. If she goes to search the knowledge base for her router overheating, she's presented with proactive content from the knowledge base. We can employ a type ahead search, so she can search across multiple community posts, service catalog. Maybe we're saying if she's overheating, she needs to upgrade the router. There's knowledge articles, community posts, etc. Now, a couple other pieces here I want to orient you to is the fact that we have that service catalog that's fully personalized for Julie as a customer of Boxio. So clicking here, we can see all of those common types of requests or processes that we can automate from within here. So I could report an application outage. I could schedule a technician visit. If I go to the services area, I could request professional services or request a password reset. All of these are contextually driven with some specific workflow that will automate notify or engage the right team behind the scenes. So much more valuable than having just a single generic contact us form that goes into a queue and then gets assigned to a different team. Each one of these service catalog items have some level of intelligence that drives them behind the scenes. Likewise, back on the customer service portal, as soon as I come back to that page, I could see, oh, we've noticed that there's connectivity issues affecting Julie's subscription to the analytics suite. And so by clicking there, I could actually go to a product landing page, and I can see things like the number of hours of support that she's entitled to, service status and monitoring. But the key takeaway here is that the customer is fully empowered with as much information to be able to self-solve, reach out to their peers in the community, or use the service catalog to automate as much as possible. In this instance, let's go ahead and look at our virtual agent in terms of how that can help drive us to the right content as well. So as soon as I click the chat icon up here in the upper right-hand corner, I'm actually going to be able to see a new virtual agent session that kicks off for me. So I can put in, my router is overheating. And our virtual agent will say, yep, I need help with issues on my router. Oh. It will actually go try to find knowledge base articles here for me that are relevant to that issue. I'll say, nope, if I clicked on some of these and it didn't actually help, I'll say no. And it will actually allow me to go ahead and schedule an upgrade from within there. Now, if I wanted to contact a live agent, oops, got to log in here. Make sure I'm logged in as my agent so that I can have somebody manning the queue. I'll log in as John. Create a case against my order here. Oh. Let's see. There we go. I wanted to create a case. So an issue gets logged for me, and then that issue can get routed to an agent, and I can actually engage with that agent directly from this virtual agent dialog. So it's now transferring that to an agent for me. And if I go back to John, I'll actually see at the top of my queue, I've got work that's been assigned to John. He's in his agent workspace. And you'll see here he has case work that's been sent to him based upon his skills, presence, and capacity. But more importantly, here's that chat that Julie just logged. I'm going to go ahead and accept that from within here. And using the agent workspace, you'll notice that I'm able to see the full context of that virtual agent. Everything that we just went through seamlessly comes across to John, so he doesn't have to repeat questions again to Julie to help with the troubleshooting. He will also have the ability to go through here and create a case. Or actually, it's already. And as soon as we're within that case, we're able to see information such as the SLA, product or account details, all from within here. Now, to kind of tee things up for Paul, we're going to say that Julie has to run for a meeting. And request a call back. And this is going to be a perfect opportunity to not only highlight the ability to take this chat request from Julie and give John the context, but also have the ability to keep that case open and enable additional channels like voice for incoming call, screen pop, and to be able to hand it off with that full case context. So, Paul, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you, and we'll hear a little bit more about DaVinci and our demonstration on integrating CTI.
All right, thanks, John. Excellent job, as always. Wanted to actually thank you for that presentation, as well as I did want to mention, actually, a call out on the also being pretty impressed about how you keep attention to our third parties like ourselves and be able to get on demos like this, and also just from the support you give from our development team is excellent. We couldn't ask for anything better, so much appreciate it. So we're going to move on into our actual overview from an AMC perspective. So the first thing I wanted to start off with is that from an AMC perspective, who we are. And I mean, we've been around for quite some time. We will actually be celebrating next year our quarter century. Myself, I'll be here for 20 of those years when that happens. So it's been a long journey for myself and for AMC, but we've been around again for a very long time. We started out back in '95, as it states on the slide here, but that started out with a company some time ago here in Richmond, Virginia, and building out we've actually built out the customer interaction center for SAP at that point in time. And of course that got OEM'd by SAP. So we've been in this industry for a very long time. And from then, being the very first, of course, because we built the CIC, Customer Interaction Center for SAP, that we also were first when it came to Salesforce and their toolkit and their OpenCTI. We're also trying to be, and may not be exactly, but we're moving forward to being the first with this new Madrid, and working closely with the teams within, like I said, within ServiceNow to be sure we get that out the door on time. So also wanted to mention that our teams here are all in-house. So any development, any support, any implementations, everything is all done, again, from our in-house team here in Richmond, Virginia. And we also went to a ServiceNow partnership last year in 2018. So we've been, again, working very closely with ServiceNow and Jeff in particular. So what do we offer to our customers? Pre-built applications. So we have the ability to implement and develop on services all these pre-built plugins, so that if the customer wants to build them, if AMC is going to build that for the customer, or if you may even have a third party, you can use our plugins to do that. Or you can use, again, our pre-built applications that are already in-house today. And we'll show you from our demonstration of the actual Creator Studio from DaVinci on how that can be done and how easily that can be put in together. The other thing I do mention is we do have an offering for managed services. So if at any point in time you wanted to have AMC handle from start to finish, we have that ability to put you into that managed service package. The migration of legacy to premise, we'll talk a little bit more about that down in the actual demonstration as well, and also on some further slides. So what does AMC solve here? So I think a lot of customers who come on or been around again for as long as we have, that there's an aging infrastructure going on out there, that there's a lot of switches from some of the old school people who are coming up to either renewals, upgrades, whatever it happens to be, ends up being a pretty costly endeavor. That there is the ability now, and there's a lot of them out there, to go to actual cloud-based call centers. The one that we're going to again demonstrate here is Twilio, and Twilio Flex to be exact, because Twilio Flex, I'm not sure people probably know about Twilio, but Twilio Flex is their latest offering where it's actually the contact center where the ACD is embedded, and you can actually use that. You have the ability to use their studio to build out call flows, whatever it happens to be. You have everything in place to actually have that call get through to the agent and as well as other channels. So what does that actually do for you? How does that integration help? And it helps in many ways. You can reduce the number of windows that the agent must open to solve an issue. So in a lot of cases, they may have a, take Avaya for instance, you've got a 1X. You got to open up the 1X, you got to open up the actual ServiceNow. You'll then be trying to go back and forth, and it just complicates things for agents. So what we want to do is, of course, bring that integration into the CRM and solve that main issue that really gets the customer or the agent the information they need right away and satisfies the customer, because that's what, in the end, what we're trying to do is get a little less frustration with the customer and make it as easy as possible on the agent to bring down the stress level, of course. And in general, from a customer and an agent perspective, that helps in attrition. Make sure that keep these agents there, make sure they're actually trained and experienced and ready to go. So that brings us to, what do we have to actually help solve those actual problems that are out there in the world today? And that's the AMC solutions. We have two main solutions, DaVinci and Picasso. DaVinci is something we would discuss with you from a purely cloud perspective. We talked about the fact that you might want to do migration earlier. If you're already on something, you want to migrate to fully cloud. Then we'd be billing out DaVinci. We'd have DaVinci for you, and you would then use that to get your fully cloud infrastructure into place, as in ServiceNow and Twilio, of course, both fully cloud, and you would use our actual integration from a fully cloud perspective as well. Picasso is more of our premise-based solution. So if you had Avaya or Cisco or some, one of the older style infrastructures that are still premise-based, and we can, build out different CRMs and different structures depending on the CRM you might have. In this case, we're talking about ServiceNow, but what if you're thinking about moving to ServiceNow, but you're already on Siebel? Well, you have that ability to maybe start off from a Siebel perspective, get all the infrastructure in place from a 100% premise-based, and then move into a hybrid as well. So from a hybrid perspective, you may still want to hold on to that CTI, but you're moving to ServiceNow today. So you have that ability to go into hybrid. We're still there with you, moving you from a purely premise-based to a hybrid kind of solution, where again, you have the ServiceNow and the old premise-based. Then you're thinking, the next phase is, well, I want to get off this premise-based. They're about to upgrade. It's going to cost too much. I want to move into something that's, kind of a pay-as-you-go or whatever it happens to be for your style of infrastructure. In that case, you would then move to, say, something like Twilio, where then you would become this fully 100% cloud-based solution. And again, we're there with you, moving you as you go to the specific area you need to be. So, the slides here kind of show some of the premise and cloud-based ones we already handle. The next slide will actually show a little bit more about that, so we'll go to that. So what we have here is the architecture. We have DaVinci 100% cloud, and then you have the top portion of this architectural slide shows most of the cloud-based type products, whether it be the driver that's driving your channels or the actual CRM that's driving the that customer relationship management type software. And down on the bottom is also connected to DaVinci. This is more of a hybrid approach, which would have the cloud-based side of the board. Again, that could be any number of what we have up here. In this case, of course, we're showing ServiceNow. So you have your ServiceNow as your CRM, and you have your, possibly, you might want Twilio Flex for SMS, because your old Avaya system, which you're using for voice, doesn't actually handle that today. So you have that again also from a multi-vendor perspective where you want to mix and match and get the best breed out there and get that single pane of glass that you want and try to get from this perspective. Again, all of the cloud type products on the top and then hybrid on the bottom. This doesn't show a premised environment. If that needs to be, we definitely work with you and figure out the best approach for that. So that kind of brings us into Twilio itself. We are a partner as well with Twilio, and again, almost everybody we have on these lists are partnered. So we work with the back end of any one of these. Whatever their dev back end is, we work directly with them. So what we have here is what we like to classify, and I guess Twilio actually classifies it as this is a new era of software. So as these SaaS environments come out, Twilio came out with a new breed of this. We like, it says deploy as SaaS, integrate like premise, and iterates like web, because it's got so much flexibility. And again, that's why I call Twilio Flex. You have the ability to put whatever you want in here. It's I wouldn't call it open source, but it is so open that you can put in anything you need within the actual UI and build it out the way you want. You could take your homegrown and put it inside inside that workspace area where it says Joseph Cruz there. You have that ability to put that in there. So you do have that. Now, one of the things that kind of takes away, of course, is that you're still limited to this kind of the space that you have. Again, if you want to build out a full, the full UI, you could possibly rectify that. But in the case of the Flex UI we have showing right now, is usually that's what happens. The workspace becomes that area. Then you would put in your homegrown in there and work from there. And you can even build out something within the UI itself if you wish to do that. Again, new era software because it is fully flexible. Do whatever you want, any way you want, from customizations, which include being able to build out code with their functions and their Twilium, to the ability of just maybe plug and play a few of these pieces and still use a studio, get contact center working and be able to get calls, SMS, chat, everything to the actual Twilio Flex UI. As I was just stating, basically change anything from the UI, the routing, the workflows, the channels, all of it is in your court. You can do whatever you want with it. You can hire a third party to build it out for you. If you have the experience, you could do it in-house. And you have that ability, again, do the plug and play that they already have, or build it out exactly the way that you want it to actually look. So that's enough about Twilio. We're going to show a little bit about how it actually works in our actual demonstration. So what we plan on doing here from a demonstration perspective is kind of showing you our Creator Studio. It's our main portal for where someone who's registered with DaVinci will go, and they'll actually build out their contact center. And I'm going to show the ease of how that can be built out. And then we're going to go into ServiceNow to kind of show how it adheres to the open framework that they've built, and then bring in a Twilio call just so you can see how that actually functions. So we'll move over to the actual DaVinci Creator Studio. And if you notice, I'm from a persona perspective, Frank Wilson. Disregard the actual AMC LLC. We're part of that Acme Corporation that Jeff was talking about earlier. And as I log in as Frank as administrator, I'm going to see some areas here within the actual Creator Studio where I can maybe check some getting started, add users videos, of a few different videos in here that will help you along the way. So where I'm at this point is I've already just looked through everything I need to look through. I've already added my users in here, and I'm getting started to actually build my contact center. So from the contact center perspective, what I want to be able to do now is, of course, I know I have ServiceNow, so I need to put in my actual ServiceNow into the, sorry about that, ServiceNow into the into the actual installed apps. So I'll go ahead and select that. I'm just going to move over to something here. It keeps wanting to go back. Sorry. So we got our ServiceNow into our installed apps. And for some reason, this keeps going back. I'm just going to minimize this. Okay, sorry about that. All right, so with the ServiceNow, what we're doing is in here, because this is a demonstration, we are still working with the Twilio, not the Twilio team, but the ServiceNow team to get this up and running. So what we're going to do for now is we're going to just place this into our demo mode, kind of a staging for our webinar to be able to show what we need to do. We're going to also bring in our Twilio, which is, of course, another pre-installed app here. For Twilio, what you would need is to go into if you have Twilio Flex and you already have it installed and you're building it out, or you have a third party or AMC, whoever it happens to be. Of course, again, AMC does all of this for you. There's system IDs and runtime IDs, and then work modes that you would normally gather from your Twilio Flex environment. And what we'll do is we'll just push this in here real quick so we can move on. Again, logout reasons, all of this stuff is within the actual Twilio environment. And we can, when we're helping you and working with you, we can work with you to show you how this all happens. We can do it for you or however you would like to do that. But from an actual call center perspective, this is done. We are now have the ServiceNow and Twilio in our call center. The agents are already, like I said, already associated to that profile. So what I'm going to do is just quickly go over to ServiceNow. And again, we're logged in as John Jason, same as Jeff was. This is a different system, so it's not going to be exactly the same as John's, of course, but it's our instance. We'll go ahead and log in. And the first thing you notice is John is in here. He's in a not ready state. And this is the agent control. So the open framework from ServiceNow has, they give us this phone icon down here. We can click it and we open up into this. I've already logged in as John, and now I'm just logged into our actual system here, and we're into Twilio. We actually logged into Twilio Flex in the back-end ACD that's associated to John, and you can see the agent abilities here. So what we're going to do is go into our ready state so that we can get a call that might go into the queue. And we're going to have Julie, same customer who contacted John earlier, to call in and get to our queue.
So for purposes of the demo, this is Lorelea, and I'm going to be acting as Julie.
Direct your call. Press 1 or say sales for sales. Press 2 or say service for service.
Service.
And you can see as Julie, aka Lorelea, actually put a call into the Twilio, into the actual Twilio ACD, and went through the actual call flow and went into services, or service, I should say. And we got the call here as an available agent. The call that came in is associated to Julie, who we'll show you in a second. It's her mobile number. But what I want to show also is the special handling notes that I think Jeff also kind of showed when he was going into the Julie record. But you have that come up automatically. You can build out on that, dismiss them. I'll leave them as is just for now. And we'll go in and we'll look at, from a case perspective, we can go in, check those cases that were happening from a John, and we can see John's case. Now, this particular call came in and it popped based on the ANI of the actual person calling in. You do have the ability to bring in call attached data. So if the caller who was calling in wanted to actually put in a case number, already knew their case number, and you want to add that case number could be added into the actual IVR from Twilio Flex as well, and then pushed across and used for this screen pop, so that it actually would go directly to the case instead of making the agent have to waste that time to go and check, okay, you're calling about case number 1009, whatever it happens to be, and then move on and have to do what they do. We could speed things up even more. So Julie can go in, or John's going in and looking at Julie's case, checking out what's going on, and being able to respond to that case and be able to talk to her in real time while they're going over that information on the case. So one other thing I wanted to kind of show, I know we were just going to do a quick demo of the actual call coming in, just to show you our basic functionality at this point in time. And as more functionality comes available and the open framework for Madrid becomes 100% available for us, we're constantly working with the team to get this to where it needs to be. Now, if you already have London, no problem. You can put this out into London today if you wish, and then as you move to Madrid, we can upgrade you into the Madrid. So I'll go ahead and end this call. And I'm going to log John out just to kind of show something real quick and things that can happen on the fly. I was going to go back to our actual call center that we already created. And again, you saw how quickly that happened. We just brought up ServiceNow. We put in general, you don't have to put anything in, but for our staging system, we put in the staging system for our ServiceNow, and we put in Twilio Flex. Boom, we had a call center that was ServiceNow and Twilio Flex. What if we wanted to maybe handle some internal, some internal messaging? So when that came in, you noticed on the pop-up, there's a lot of critical notes and a lot of critical things happening on that specific case. So what I wanted to do, I'm just going to throw in here, and this kind of shows how we not only are multi-channel, but multi-vendor. So it allows us, again, we're just saving in the information for our Skype for Business here internally. And now we have ServiceNow, Skype for Business, and Twilio. So this gives the ability for the agent to maybe needs to do a little bit of internal communication instead of just talking on the phone with Twilio. Now, again, eventually Twilio and ServiceNow will have the ability to do SMS, chat, everything within the actual adapter that we're showing today. But let me just log in here. But for now, we may need that internal chat just to try and maybe just to get an escalation. So when that came in, and we do have some escalations on this case, I may want to just reach out to one of my internal supervisors or whoever, and just mention that this case is actually I'm sorry, just typing, can't do two things at once, I guess. So we may want to reach out to our supervisor and just say, hey, case needs escalation, show them the case, whatever it happens to be, and have that person will come back and just give us verbal, or not verbal, but messaging confirmation that we do have the ability to escalate this, do whatever we need to do with that case. So again, one of the main things was just kind of showing the ability to also receive calls and internal messaging. There are other things you may want to do. Maybe you got a great package with Nexmo and you wanted to use them as SMS, whereas Twilio gave you a great deal on telephony. Again, you could do the same thing. You could have your SMS come in on Nexmo, have your voice and full contact center for voice come in on the Twilio Flex.
And Paul, just a comment from the ServiceNow side. That's a great capability that you all are bringing to market there, especially for our enterprise or larger commercial customers. If you're working in a fabric of mergers and acquisitions, you will get legacy or different infrastructures that are blended and then consolidate teams. So having that piece that's huge in terms of customer adoption and being able to quickly go to market and use the benefits of ServiceNow in an expedited manner. So that's great.
Thank you, John. Or thank you, Jeff. That's I got John on my mind. Thank you, Jeff. That's great to hear. So I know we're running out of time here. I'm just going to quickly log out, but just point out that if the person agent wants to go not ready, we do support the not ready reason codes as well as these logout codes if the telephony supports that. So let's go back to our slides here. So we went through and did everything we needed to do from adding the apps to overview. What I want to quite quickly, just a quick little recap again, what we ended up putting in there was through Creator Studio was we created that contact center. We're talking minutes. Just as long as you have that information in front of you, just put it into the ServiceNow or the Twilio Flex and you're up and running and ready to go. That goes for any one of these apps. The fact that we just were able to just throw Skype for Business in there and the agent logs in and automatically has that ability to do internal messaging. Great feature, great functionality. As apps get put on here, you may want to add even more apps for other agents or more profiles in the future where you want to be able to add different apps for different maybe sales and service. Also, from a Twilio flow, you heard when Julie, aka Lorelea, called in, it went through a very basic call flow, and that was within Twilio. You can see it's graphically, you just drag and drop, put your information in, and automatically have a call center. And lastly, we logged in, we got a call in from Twilio through the contact center to the queue and opened the actual screen pop within ServiceNow. So from that, some key takeaways. DaVinci can add the ServiceNow, can add to the ServiceNow experience by adding in that ability to quickly get that information you need right in front of the customer. The ability to have multi-vendor, not only just multi-channel, but multi-vendor, so you can mix and match. And from an AMC perspective, we're there throughout this process. Let's just say you go with ServiceNow and help you configure the ServiceNow to get the CT up and running. We're here to help you get the Twilio where it needs to be, put in the call flows you need, build out what's exactly required within your call center environment, and then working with you, of course, all the way through. Go with your scenarios, build out your solution, tweak it along the way. Hey, something you thought was going to be great, maybe it's not. So we tweak that, make it sure it's exactly what you want in the end. And of course, that's to get a smooth go live for yourself. So with that, I'll move it back over to Lorelea as our host to talk a little bit about the last webinar series and what's in the future.
Thank you, Paul. So I'd like to thank both Paul and Jeff today for giving us a very extensive look into customer service management with ServiceNow and what's coming, as well as our integration from a DaVinci frameworks perspective. And as I mentioned earlier, today is the fourth in our deep dive DaVinci webinar series. And the next one coming up is March 26th. So if you've not signed up for that yet, there's a link right here where you can sign up for that. And we also had a question come in earlier, was the recording today going to be available? And yes, it is. We're going to provide to all registrants a link to today's session at the close. And then we're also going to make it available on our ServiceNow Solutions page located on our AMC website. So right now, we've got about 10 minutes left. So we're going to go through some of the questions that have come in during the session. I can see where several of the questions that came in to Jeff, he was able to answer. One of those was the migration steps for a customer who wanted to move into Madrid. So Jeff, thank you very much. I know a lot of people are very interested in how they move from a current release of ServiceNow to Madrid. There was also some questions around how to get more information on how to configure the virtual agent. So Jeff has posted a link here for individuals to get more information. And then Lastly, with Madrid is the general availability. So it did go available on March 6th. There is a broadcast tomorrow. So if you've not registered for that broadcast, I would encourage all to register for that broadcast. So we're going to go through some more in here, and one of them is for the Creator Studio. Is that used by the contact center admin? And yes, AMC's Creator Studio is used by the contact center admin to configure the call center based upon the communication channels as well as the CRM, CSM platforms that are used. We have another one come in, and Paul, I'll get you to help out with this one. How does AMC help me transition from a premise to a cloud architecture?
Great question. Thank you, Lorelea. That would be from, I think we talked a little bit about the hybrid side of things. We'd work with you and determine how you wanted to move forward with that. So if you wanted to first move into a cloud area like half-breed, where you have the actual ServiceNow, and then say an Avaya switch, then we would then put that in place so you could continue to use that. Then as if you want to move into, say, Twilio, we would work with you to get the Twilio all put in place. We can also do a phased approach where we move some of your agents over so you can test it out, make sure it's working as expected, and then slowly move all your agents over to that so you become this fully cloud solution.
And another question, is DaVinci generally available?
Yes, DaVinci is ready. Anybody who wants to build or get on and register, there is a link in the which we'll show in a little bit. We can push that link out into the chat as well, so that you can register, and once you register, you're ready to go.
Let's see. Here's another one for you, Paul. Can DaVinci blend channels from premise and cloud platforms? Say I want voice from my Avaya infrastructure and I want to leverage SMS via Twilio Flex. I think you covered this in your deeper dive, but you may want to remind everyone, some of the things that can be done.
Yes, so we did talk about that a little bit, and that the ability to have that hybrid approach where you might want to have, again, an Avaya or a Cisco on the back end that's handling your voice. The actual Nexmo or Twilio or whatever you want from the other side, you may want to be able to have that from an SMS perspective. So you do have that ability. It would look and feel similar to what I showed you with the Skype for Business. So instead, you would have a Picasso Avaya or a Picasso Cisco. And then again, based on the actual middleware that you're using, it could be AES, UCCX, UCCE, UCM. I mean, any one of those specific, we actually deal with them all. They would reside where the Skype for Business was residing. So phone calls would come in, screen pops would happen. You can control the soft phone or the hard phone based on the controller within the ServiceNow. And then when an SMS was to come in or a chat from Twilio, then that would pop the screen and still be able to move on with that specific channel.
Yep, and I think we've got one more time for one more question. And that is, and I'll take this one because this is an area that's near and dear to me. Can I build my own apps to include in the Creator Studio? And the answer to that is yes. The Creator Studio was built not only for platform providers to be able to allow customers to integrate within different channels and different platforms, but we've also made available some public APIs. So for our customers that have specific contact center applications, we're enabling them to leverage our public APIs to build applications that they can put those in the Creator Studio as well. So we've got some information here on how to further keep in touch with AMC as well as ServiceNow. You can email us at sales@amctechnology.com. We also have a YouTube channel, and we've got some reference URLs if you want to learn more about our DaVinci frameworks. For ServiceNow, for AMC solution, we do have the ServiceNow solutions page on our website. And then to learn more about the full ServiceNow ecosystem, you can go to their products page that'll talk about the customer service management. But when you get to that site, it'll also give you the ability to see other things within ServiceNow, such as their IT service management and other areas in their Now platform that they support. And when you get the recording, you'll have access to Jeff's contact information as well as Paul's contact information. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining today's session, which was our DaVinci deep dive into ServiceNow as well as our integration with DaVinci, and look forward to seeing everyone on March 26th at our next session. Thank you very much and have a great day.